So starting the test drive in the Sportage LX, these 2.5 4-cylinders, with them being naturally aspirated, they actually have quite a bit of pull, which I like. And they pair well with the 8-speed, especially on the highway. You're able to maximize that fuel economy. But in the city, the shift points just allow for a quick feeling acceleration, if that makes sense. Now you have 3 different drive modes. You have your normal, your smart, your sport. And honestly, normal mode is about good enough, I think, to be driving something like this, especially if you're trying to maximize fuel economy. But I mean, you have other options. If you go up in trim, you can get the turbo option, but I think this is pretty solid. I do prefer the hybrids more for the fuel economy and that feeling of exhilaration, but other than that, I mean, don't have any issues with this engine. Now I should have a little bit of space to give this a pull. I'm not going to put it in a sport mode, but I am going to put it into the smart mode, and we'll see what this does. Here we go. So not bad acceleration again. I like the sound. I like that it didn't get too strained. I didn't floor it, but it still got up to speed very nicely. Now I want to give one more big thanks to Nissan of Cool Springs here in Franklin, Tennessee for allowing me to review this Sportage today. I'll leave a link below in the description. But if you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that 3rd link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever pre-owned vehicle you might be interested in. Now, ride's pretty good coming down the interstate here. We do have the lane centering, which is nice to have on the base model. You don't get the adaptive cruise control, but that just kind of keeps you in the lines, and then you just kind of have to take care of everything else. But you do want to cut that off. Well, I think you should cut it off if you're going to be in the city, just because it can be a bit much, and it's not perfect. On highway lines, it makes sense. It's pretty solid. You still want to keep your hands on the wheel, pay attention, but you know, in the city, it can get a bit wonky as you go around curves and things like that. And, you know, it doesn't just cut off. It tries to fight you almost. Now, in terms of what you get for the money here, $21,000 with 58,000 miles on it. I think this stickered for almost 29 grand new. And I'm sure it went for a bit more during the whole COVID fiasco. So just something else to keep in mind. But I think this does have quite a bit of promise for the money. It's relatively inexpensive regardless. I think it was just dirt cheap at sticker price when they first came out. And I mean, the acceleration you get from a stop is really good. You just kind of put your foot down. You don't do a burnout or anything like that, but it does have a nice initial pull. Just giving it a tad bit of throttle doesn't necessarily burn your fuel tank up. And I mean, it's a solid vehicle. They're relatively inexpensive to fix. They're just, I don't want to say they're cheaply made, but everything that's in here is pretty easy to work on for your, you know, typical mechanics at the dealership, at your local repair shop. And, you know, I just think it's a solid vehicle for this amount of money. And on top of that, when you consider just how much used cars are now, how much new cars are now, this is especially if you're trying to be on a budget, you want something that looks nice, specifically on the outside, and something that has, you know, all the tech that you need on the inside without adaptive cruise and blind spot monitors, you can't beat it for around that $20,000 mark. And all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2023 Kia Sportage in the LX trim level.